Hello, I'm Jordan Abrams, and with me is Ben Schultz. How are you, Ben?
I'm doing well. How are you, Jordan?
I'm well. Quick question: what do you do at in Des Moines?
So I work at the Iowa Center for Economic Success. We're a nonprofit that helps people start and grow their own small businesses. And I'm our client services coordinator. So I work with all of our clients, meet with them one-on-one, help connect them to our resources to help them essentially get their business started.
Oh, interesting, interesting. Well, while you graduated from Drake, and you are a 2019 alum, and you graduated from the College of Business. So, while when you graduated, what did you graduate with? What was your majors, your minors, etc.?
Yeah, I had a management major and an economics minor and a human resources concentration from the College of Business.
And was that when you joined, or when you declared yourself like part of the business, like the school business, was that your track the whole entire time, or did you switch majors? Or
Yeah, I switched majors, I think two or three times. I came in as accounting and finance and took an accounting class and dropped that. And then I took a finance class and dropped that. And then I kind of had a little moment where I was wondering what I was going to do. I really felt a strong pull towards my management professors and coursework. And I really enjoyed econ as well. So I decided to add that minor.
while you were here at Drake, was there anything you were involved in? I understand CBPA has a dozen organizations, and then as well as Drake's has like hundreds of organizations you can be a part of. So
Yeah, it's been a while since I've thought about this. I haven't had to answer that question for a bit, but in the CBPA, I did the CBPA ambassadors, so giving Twitter perspective students. I was also a student ambassador working out of the admissions office. I was a part of the Drake Choir and Brocal Chords all my 4 years there, which was awesome. I also did Greek life, had a few internships off campus, and pretty much any intramural sport I could do. So, like most Drake students, tried to stay busy.
did you happen to be super Drake busy and where it became an issue, or did you somehow manage like your whole 4 years, like just making that fine line between being overworked and being underworked?
There was definitely some times that I felt like I was really doing too much, and in those times it was really important for me to kind of take a step back and evaluate what was most important. And I ended up using the Drake Mental Health Clinic a few times just to kind of realize like, hey, you don't have to keep burning yourself out. And the professors were really good too about kind of helping me realize that I was stressing too much about stuff that didn't really matter. And it ended up all being great. So a lot of support systems kind of helped me, but certainly felt that for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That my first semester, I thought coming from high school, I thought, oh, okay, it's easy just to do this kind of the same things and just do 4 or 5 organizations. And then I learned roughly about midterm through that I was getting really overworked. And honestly, had it not been like the fact that we went back home, I don't know if I would have like mentally made it the rest of the semester.
It's a
Um,
big transition, and I think definitely people feel that pressure to do so much. But I mean, just being at Drake and taking care of yourself and getting good grades is what's most important. And there's a lot of great resources to make sure that you can do that and be okay.
Absolutely, absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree about that. You kind of mentioned you were in Greek life and you're very involved. Were you, can you by chance tell me what relays was like? I personally never had the experience of paint in the street, relays, the throwing the paint, any of the like SAB events or like the musical host. That was all like that was done. That was over by the time that was canceled. So
Oh
what is
wow.
relays? What was that like?
It's so much fun. It's really great to just see the campus just kind of comes alive. I mean, it starts with Painted Street. It's so cool to see everybody out there kind of representing their own organization, and then you have the big paint fight. It's just so cool to see how much energy there was in the air. I enjoy watching track and field. So each year I tried to catch a few track and field events, and it was just so cool to see. I mean, I saw a couple high schoolers break records. You get to see Olympic athletes there. It's so much fun to just take it all in because there's so many people from around town, but all over the country. I mean, it's a really well-known event. The SAB concerts were fun. I think I saw Lil Yachty, AJR and Marky Basie, Skizzy Mars. So we had some pretty cool ones. And again, just the energy was electric. I mean, the whole week leading up to it, when Forest Avenue kind of shuts down, you can feel stuff is starting to build. And then once the SAB activities are taking place, you're like, oh, it's here. And there's just alumni packing the place, and it's so cool to hear their stories and just see how alive Drake gets.
Wow, that sounds like I missed out on something amazing, and I regret it. But I know one day it will come. It will come, and I will cannot wait.
It'll just make it that much better for when you have your first relays. You'll have all that anticipation built up.
So going back a little bit to your college of business days and that kind of that period where you were a little lost and you found management. Was it like that? What was like a management class, that professor that kind of helps, swayed you into your field that you currently are right now?
Yeah, it was a couple classes that I'd had with the same professor, and I really liked the way that she taught, and I just really enjoyed the coursework. It was a lot more human based, and I really enjoyed just learning a lot of soft skills of ways to relate to people in the workplace and motivate them, how to just be a better leader, take care of yourself, and communicate well with others. So the coursework was really fun, and then I ended up, before I was switching, I was meeting with the professor that I really liked, and she became my kind of impromptu advisor before I actually switched majors. So it was cool to always have her to lean on.
Do you guys still keep in contact? Is she still within the School of Business as well?
Unfortunately, she passed away in my time at Drake, so that was really sad. We had a good relationship, but we're able to get in touch with her family and kind of send our well wishes. But there were a couple other professors at that time that I was able to kind of speak with, and they certainly jumped in and helped me out.
That's a real shame. She sounded like an amazing professor, and I only because like you seem to speak so highly of her, and I always like to go into Albert and live in Albert, so I thought I could see her, say hi, but unfortunately, that's a shame. Here's one. What is your biggest piece of advice for students immediately like doing in their career, or what they should do like the first thing when they set out into the world, like the real world after graduating?
Setting out into the real world, I think it's kind of important to take stock of what you really enjoy, because it's so easy to get so caught up in work and things that you've just been doing because you're doing them. And then you get caught up and you realize you've wasted a ton of time on things that don't actually make you happy. And life is short. And so I think everybody kind of goes through a transition period when they graduate of figuring out, who am I? What really motivates me? And it's okay to just kind of take some time to step back and do some self-evaluation of new hobbies that you want to jump into, or people to reconnect with, or who you want to be. It's your time to reinvent yourself. And, if you kind of breeze past it, you'll end up being unhappy and wishing that you'd, gone back and just spent more time having fun.
Now, did you do some of that as well, or was it just a very easy transition, or kind of like you were doing all your internships, you graduated, you got your major in management, HR information, and then you just like hop into where you currently are, or was there like a bit of a roadmap?
No, definitely a roadmap. So this is my second job. I actually left my first job just a little bit over a year into it. Again, because I realized that it wasn't me, and I had taken the job because I was trying to live up to some expectation of what I wanted to do. And then also personally, I mean, I found new hobbies to get into because I had all this free time. I wasn't Drake busy anymore. So I had to find some things to be productive with my free time. Like I started taking exercising really seriously and picked up triathlons and just going to the gym a little more often, biking, just casual, going to trivia nights. It certainly wasn't easy. I struggled at times with my first job, and then, I just evaluated and said, this isn't who I am and what I want to do. And so I found this new opportunity that's really up my alley, and I'm a lot happier both personally and professionally because of it.
I think I'll do one more question, and I think it'll be the big question, and then we can kind of wrap it up here. For you, Ben Schultz, what are the three top Drake memories that have stuck with you?
Oh man, that is a tough one. I think just my senior year at relays has to be one of them, just because I had 3 years of people underneath me that I built relationships with, but also several years of people above me that were coming back. And it was just a really cool culmination of, people that had seen me through my Drake experience and are now going out into the world, and I still kept in touch with, as opposed to freshmen that I had made good friendships with. And it was kind of our last time to hang out and make memories together. That has to be one. In Drake Choir, the former director retired at the end of my senior year, and so it was a really cool experience. I remember a lot of our last concerts really fondly because we had a very special relationship, and so it was cool to kind of send her off well. And then if I were to pick a third, I honestly just miss the energy around campus giving tours to students, because it was really fun to see prospective high school students when they walked around campus and just got it. You could tell the moment that they saw themselves at Drake, and it was so cool to just be a part of that. And everybody really was a part of it. Just the community and the energy that Drake had was special.
Well, I'm glad that I personally made the right choice. I will say that I was that high school student who kind of got there on campus on a cold November, and I was like, "All right, this is it. This is where I feel that snap, that click. I felt that, and I think you've captured that feeling perfectly, and you explain it quite well. So I guess this concludes my interview with Ben Schultz. Catch you next time on SAA.